Hi friends, I made a mistake. I feel so silly. I was happily working along on my camisole number 4 by My Favourite Things Knitwear, absolutely loving it, more loving the fact that I was finished with the back and front peaks, and really happy to start knitting in the round, just to have a mindless, no wrong sides, right sides, increases, decreases, no decreases. And I noticed that I've been using the wrong yarn. So this all started when I was doing what any knitting podcaster will tell me to do, which is making a gauge swatch. I did make a gauge swatch. I made two, one with a recommended needle size 3.5 millimeters, and then I realized that this is not going to be enough, so I sized up to a 4 millimeter, and I just wanted something small in my hands because I've been working on my longer projects that are becoming quite large. So I wanted a small knit, and I picked up my swatch for this. I went into my yarn cupboard and I pulled out my Knitting for Olive shaped cake of yarn, or ball of yarn that is white and quite thin, and I took the label off and I made my swatches, and I started on the front two pieces of the tank top, the cami, and then it says in the pattern not to break the yarn for the front and to start with a new skein for the back. And then I did. I pulled out my second yarn and I started knitting the back, and I've had everything, this is completely tangled now, I've had everything on the same cables, so you'd think that I'd realise sooner, but I was more focused on the fact that I cast on, or I had one side facing outwards and the other side facing in, and I was thinking about how do I transfer them from these needles to another pair of needles to then back to these needles so everything is the right way out. So I wasn't really comparing right to right and wrong to wrong. I was just comparing, oh, these are the wrong way around. And now that I've finished all of them, very happily finished a few minutes ago, and went to join in the round, I realized that these are two different yarns. So my plan was to knit the cami in the pure silk by Knitting for Olive, and lovely yarn, love the effect that I have on the back, only the gauge is quite loose, and I accidentally picked up one of the skeins of soft silk mohair that I had left over from a different project, and I hadn't clocked that I had a full skein of this white yarn left. I was convinced that I only had half a skein left, so it wasn't even on my radar that I could have like a full ball of this white yarn with the label on it that wasn't the pure silk. But now, I mean, feeling them, they are very obviously different yarns, and looking at them, this is the soft silk mohair and this is the pure silk. You can see the gauge is a lot looser, this is more fluffy, and I want the cami in the soft silk, the pure silk. That's my idea, and having knitted the back, I'm even more convinced that this is what I want to do, but I'm not, I mean, I can't keep these because the gauge is just far too loose. I won't be comfortable wearing this in the white colour and showing that much skin through. But at the same time, so I have to frog the back, just rip everything out. But the front, I like the effect, and I'm considering if I should place these on a spare piece of cord and knit a bralette or something, because I think that would be nice as well. But that's not the focus I'll be having in the coming few weeks, I suppose. So basically nothing that I've knitted since the 30th, yeah, so for 5 days now, is usable for the project that I had in mind, that I want finished for the summertime. So I will have to do everything again, but to try and remedy the situation, I thought, why not make a whole knitting vlog out of it? Now that I have you here from the beginning, why not do it together? So I will be ripping the silk out, and then I will be re-knitting a gauge swatch, and I definitely foresee myself going for a smaller needle size. Might even go down to a 3mm needle, which is what I'm using for my 2 mammoth projects, and I'm not too keen on knitting with 3mm needles on another project, but I'll try the 3.5 and I will see where we go from there. So follow along. Alright, so after dealing with the frustration is the right word, it's not a big deal, of the yarn mix up, I did frog everything as you just saw, and I frogged the silk pieces, and I put the soft silk mohair pieces on one of my unused, or mainly unused, straight needles. I don't even know what these are called, in a 4mm size, so I know which size I'm working on if I ever return to this. I haven't decided if I cut my losses or if I try to convert that into another project. But I made 2 gauge swatches in the silk, the pure silk, in a size 3mm needle and a 3.5, which is the recommended size for this pattern. And I have to say that I like the effect more of the 3mm size. It's a bit denser and not as see-through, but I hit gauge on the 3.5mm needle, and I thought that this is a project that I want to try My Favourite Things Knitwear as a designer. Do I like the way they make garments and design them, and do I like the fit of them? So I don't want to go off gauge the first time I'm making one of their patterns. So and also I don't want another project with a 3mm needle after working on a pair of trousers and a long dress on a 3mm needle for 3 months. So I was very happy that the 3.5mm needle worked, and I hit gauge on that. And this is where I'm at. I've finished the first piece for the front, and now I'm nearly finished with the second front, and then I'll cast on the back and then finish and then join in the round. And so far the yarn is not elastic, which silk isn't supposed to be, so it is a bit tough on the hands, and I've been having to remind myself to take frequent breaks and stretch some, and I've had some errands to run today, so I've had a natural pause in between. But since these are such short rounds, it's difficult not to just say, oh, just one more round, one more row. An update on my camisole number 4. I just spent 2 hours in a meeting with the Homeowners Association, or the equivalent here in Sweden, where I am I'm not the chairperson, I'm one of the participants, group members, you know what I mean. Anyway, so we were talking for 2 hours and mostly just deciding on roles and things where I didn't have to take any notes or research anything. We had to sit for such a long time that I actually ended up doing more than I thought. So I have finished the front pieces. I finished the back pieces earlier today, and it's a good thing that I frogged the last version, because apparently I can't read, because the back pieces are not supposed to be as large as front pieces, but quite a lot smaller, so the back pieces that I had done for the last iteration were wrong anyway. So everything with that version was wrong. But now I'm starting to join in the round. So the front pieces are then connected by a few cast on stitches, and then the back pieces, these are still floating freely. But this is where we're at on day 2 of remaking this cami. But I think this is going to be something. We are back in Sweden after a week since the last clip. You saw me knitting here at home and then taking the project on the train. I actually finished on the train. I did get to weave in all my ends on the train, and I started another project actually. And then when we came to the hotel, I blocked it and wore it a day, and you can see that the straps did grow quite a lot. I had to shorten them by a good 7 centimeters. Don't know if you can hear that. I'm trying the new microphone and I don't know yet how much of the surrounding sounds you pick up with the microphone. So I finished it on the Saturday, and then on the Sunday we went to run the half marathon across the bridge from Denmark to Sweden. It was scorching hot. The bridge had zero shade because it's a bridge for cars. So it's not designed to be a pleasant place for pedestrians and runners, and it wasn't. It was awful. And I did catch a cold from one of my nephews uh, that were visiting. So when I woke up on race day, I was very unsure whether or not I would actually make it, and it's I was very very slow, but I made it across, and I'm quite proud of that. It was a fun thing to have done. It was not a fun thing to do, but it's fun to have done it, and now I will never ever do it again. So my goal for this project was a white v-neck cami in a summer fabric that can be used for layering, and then it can also stand on its own. And as you can see, it's white, it's v-necked, it can stand on its own. I will show you a bit more. You can see I made it in a smaller size than was recommended on my with my measurements, but the fit that I was actually hoping for, because I don't want it to be too boxy. You can see I'm a proud member of the Itty Bitty Titty Committee, and if I have clothing that is too boxy with this much exposed skin, I don't find it very. It's not the look that I'm going for. I don't like that look on me. So I like the lines that this gives and a bit of waist shaping. It's super flowy, the fabric. It's just absolutely gorgeous. It's quite see-through. As you can see my skin-colored bra underneath. But I'm thinking of adding like a patch of. Hang on, let me save my ankles. I'm thinking of adding a patch of duplicate stitch just at the apex so I don't look very nipply when I'm out and about, because the point of the top is to wear it in summer, and if I can avoid it, I prefer to be bra free because I don't need the support. Mosquito bites don't need support, and for modesty reasons and for comfort reasons as well, I would prefer the patch. So I'll see if I actually get around to making those patches and what that does for the flow of the fabric. You can see up here it's not very flowy at the actual chest area. It's down here that it flows, so it might not be too big an issue, but I will see where I end up. And I will be wearing this tank top for a few days to make sure that the straps are completely stretched out before I go in and modify the length. I don't know if I don't know how I'll do that because I've heard that it continues stretching for a while, but I will see. So this this is the project in its full glory. I'm very happy with it. It falls
This is my natural waist. It falls a few centimeters below my natural waist, and I'm very, very happy with how it ended up. You can see from the back as well the peaks that are shorter for the back than for the front, and you can also see a glimpse of my gorgeous suntan that I got from the tank top I was wearing for the half marathon. It was, as I said, a very hot day and the sun was relentless. We had been good about SPF, but my tank top just kept wearing away at the skin and chafing away the SPF. So I have a bit of a weird suntan line right there. But in conclusion, very pleased with the project, very happy to have had you here. I highly recommend the pattern. It was very easy. I made one mistake. It's one of the rows here that I forgot to do the pearl row. So it's 3 rows with just plain stockinette stitch where it should be a pearl bump every 2 stitches. But other than that, 10 out of 10 would recommend. I think that's all I wanted to say on this project. If you have any questions, let me know down below. If you like the video, do like it. Keep an eye out on the channel. I will be posting more videos about my summer knitting. I have still quite a lot of fun summer projects in mind. I have some sewing plans as well for the summer that I might get around to filming as well, and some other crafting shenanigans. So if you are interested, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.